Here he goes.
All right. Looks like we're live. Hey there, everyone. Hi. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian.
I'm Erin.
If you don't know us, we're Be Adventure Partners. And this here, the Beatmobile, it's our pleasure craft that we're building up here in Ontario, Canada. I'm from Texas, if you don't know that. And Erin's from up here in Ontario.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yep. So tonight we just wanted to come hang out. We missed you guys. We had a bit of a delay with our counter project. So we didn't get a video out in time. So we just wanted to hang out. And there's already a ton of people here, which just like makes my heart so warm.
This is the first time that we've gone live here at the barn, and our internet signal's not so great because we're streaming off of our phones, the Wi-Fi hotspot, with our computers. So if someone can drop a comment just to let us know if you can actually hear the audio and see the video on this, that would really help us out here.
Yep.
And
it's good on my end.
It's good on your end. Okay, Erin,
I hope you guys are cool. Let us know.
Yeah, tonight's just going to be just a hangout session. Like, we've been super freaking slammed with this build. Different parts of the build takes a lot longer than we had expected, especially whenever it comes to things like drying time. Whenever things like epoxy says, oh, it takes 48 hours to dry, but come to find out it takes like 7 days to cure, that sets the schedule behind. And I may have just dropped a nugget there. Take it as you wish. You may never know what that's for until the video actually comes out.
Yeah, we're doing some epoxy. So this is kind of interesting. We are almost a year into our build. Yeah. We're just like maybe a week away from the year anniversary that we got our big beauty. So that's kind of wild. We really never expected that it was going to take a year.
No.
We thought that maybe it would take like 6 months or 5 months. We were really hoping 5 months, but that just didn't happen. It's not the most realistic when you're doing all kinds of things, and we get asked that all the time, like, how long does this take? We don't know yet.
Yeah, and before we get going too far, we want to say thank you to everyone for showing up live here. Thank you to everybody who watches the premieres that we put out on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays, or sometimes Mondays, or sometimes they just don't show up at all when situations like long building processes happen and they get pushed behind. But we want to say a special thank you to our Patreon, Sherry. We really appreciate you. That's
Thanks,
my mom.
Sherry.
She's our patron. If anybody else wants to be a patron, feel free to jump in there. You're more than welcome to. Other than that, thank you to everybody who watches, because the revenue we earn from this channel, just from people watching, for the little ads showing up, allows us to buy parts and stuff for this build. So huge thank you to everybody. And we want to give some shout outs to people who are jumping on.
The chat's going crazy. We want to say hey to Charlie, Mike Maynard, James, to Connect 2000s, to AZ Sun. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, what's up? David Fox is in the house. Ralph Borchers, Dr. Borcher. So back in, I guess it was 2000, whenever I started university there at Southwest Texas State University there in San Marcos, Texas, Dr. Borchers was the head of the photography department and the head of all things video or photography. And so he's where I learned all photography stuff initially, and so much gratitude to you, Dr. B, for teaching so much stuff.
Thanks,
it applies.
He taught me how to use a camera.
Yeah.
It was like when we were in Ecuador.
Yeah.
We were in Ecuador and we were going on this tour across the country in this Jeep and off-roading. And at first, for like maybe the first day or so, Brian was driving the Jeep because I hadn't driven for a while and I was a little bit nervous and just kind of wanted to see what these wild mountain roads would be like. And I had to take the camera over and learn how to work this like big DSLR camera. Yeah. And that's when I first started getting really confident with it. So It's probably a little piece of you, Ralph. Anyways, we want to say hey to Thomas. He says that him and his wife are watching our build and that we're keeping you guys motivated. They've got a 1978 Bluebird.
Nice. Nice.
That's cool. Anyone else have a schoolie? Let us know. It's so cool. It's such an undertaking to do something like this, but it's probably the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah. What's up, Jacqueline? See you jumping on. So a lot of stuff's going on here. We're going to do a Q&A for sure. So if you've got questions, definitely drop them in the chat. We'll be scrolling back through and see if we missed anything because the chat's going pretty fast on our side. But where are we at right now? What's taking so long for these videos to come out?
Guys, this is bigger. Some of these jobs are bigger than we expect. Like the door, for instance, when we took on the door, we were like, yeah, it's going to be a quick project. We're just going to fab it together, slap some sheet metal on
Weld it.
Call it good. Was that like a 3-week project?
Yeah, it took about 3 weeks to build the entry door.
Yeah. And now we're working on the counter. If you've been following, you've seen and we're on like week 3 of that.
Yeah.
We just poured some epoxy into the cracks. Little spoiler alert.
Little knot holes and stuff like that to seal those off.
Yeah. We thought it was only like a 48-hour wait, but it turns out that we had some epoxy leak out and we had to re-pour like 3 times. And after the final pour, you have to wait 7 days. So that was a bit of the holdup. So we just dove into our next project and it's been so fun. We've been dying to do this project for ages.
I would say it's actually relieving that we're getting to this part of the project.
Big relief. A big relief. If you want to give them a hint and see if they can guess what it is.
So if you were following the community, we posted a community post over the weekend saying that, oh, sorry about the video not coming out or whatever. But the hint in the community post was that this project that we're working on specifically is suitable for a king or a queen. And we actually had Robin Ellis out of Australia actually guessed exactly what it is. So Robin Ellis, you are the winner and we'll send you a prize. I actually have an idea of what the prize is right now. And I'm going to actually write this down so I don't forget.
Okay. You guys are actually sitting on it right now. Oh, Janina thinks it's the bed. Oh, Yoel says it's the throne. Good guess.
When you say throne, Yoel, tell us what throne you're talking about there.
Yeah. What can I say? Robin, you're amazing.
What can I say? Thumbs up. Yep, you won it, Robin.
Oh, this is funny. Janina says, yeah, you guys made me decide to keep my door. I remember you commenting on that video saying that we kind of detoured you from fabbing it together. And we're sorry. It wasn't that hard. We were just kind of being a bit dramatic because the top wouldn't fit. And we had to hammer time it to get it to fit. And just like, we just wanted it to be over with. It really wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yoel, you got it, brother.
Yeah.
You got it also. We're going to also send you something. So I'm going to take your name down also. Hey, Yoel.
Big pooper.
Yoel, you need to send us a message on Instagram or Facebook and throw in there something like throne and we'll get something sent out to you.
We're going to send something to you. Oh, Bussy McBusface sounds like they had a hard time putting their door together too. Yeah, they had a hard time with the what was that sealant stuff they put on it that we got sent to us broken?
Oh, Bondo.
Bondo.
Yeah, they had a hard time with the Bondo. I remember that. Mike was mixing it up pretty hot. So that just means Bondo's a 2-part mixture. And if you put too much of the activator stuff in, it starts to harden super fast. So they call that mixing it hot. So I've never actually mixed Bondo. We've got a gallon of it and we haven't used it yet. So there's that.
Oh, Rick and Karen are here. Hey, guys.
What's
Good
up,
to
y'all?
See ya. Rock and roll.
Cans float, bottles don't. What's up, Cam and Kat?
There
Yes,
they are.
absolutely.
Flannel Pro.
Flannel Pro. I wore this to be extra Canadian today.
Yeah.
Eh?
Actually, we thought it was going to be way colder today, and we're actually a little sweaty.
Yeah. So projects have been coming along pretty smooth. We've got our whiteboard over here. I'm sure that you've probably seen our whiteboard in some of the videos. We're using the whiteboard to keep us kind of on track with things because we're doing things a little bit differently. We're building out the entire schoolie in a similar way that you would like build out a house in certain aspects of it. So one aspect is that we're not insulating right away because we want to run all our pipes and our wires for electrical and plumbing first because that's like roughing it in, and then we'll do insulation around that.
Initially, we were working our butts off to get to the insulation point.
Because we have it.
Right before that, we were working so hard to just get everything done. Like, let's get these windows in. Let's do this stuff so we could do insulation. But then the pandemic happened and we couldn't get an insulator guy or gal. We couldn't get someone to spray foam the bus. So then we started getting resourceful and just started looking around at different insulation options. And we found something else that we're pretty excited to use. So we had it shipped and we're super pumped. It's like more natural and it's insect repellent and moisture wicking and all the
fire
good things.
Retardant.
And like
also,
what is the
It's R7
value?
every 2 inches, which is pretty solid. Yeah. Pretty solid R value there.
Yeah. So that's kind of an exciting thing. Oh, we've got friends from Ohio, Derek and Ashley. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Good to see you, David Fox. Thanks for hanging out for a moment.
Absolutely. So what questions do people have about the build that we're doing, any of the projects we've done so far, or maybe if you've got questions about future projects that we haven't dove into yet?
Yep. Janina's asking, what is the insulation? Sheep's wool.
Sheep's wool. We had it shipped in from New Zealand.
Oh, hi, Maya.
Oh, Maya Sipple. What's up?
Nice to see you, little lady.
Yeah.
We got all ages in here tonight, kids. This is so great.
Yeah, so we're going to use Havelock wool insulation just to, if you wanted to know exactly what it is. We've got, we measured all of our space and talked with the people there, and they're all like, oh, this is how much you need. I can't remember exactly how many square feet it was. It's in our notes in our little Moleskine journal book. So once we get to that, we'll talk more about all that.
It's been a while since we even thought about insulation. We still have so many things that we got to do.
Yeah. So coming up projects, let's see. We've got to get some sort of rack system put in on the top because we're going to have solar panels up there. Energy. Let's talk about energy for a second. A lot of times builds go in many different directions when it comes to energy. There's electrical energy. So you've got energy from the sun. You can use wind power. You can also use like water power if you're by a lake or a stream. There's also propane energy, gasoline energy, diesel energy. And the more different energy sources that you need, the more complicated systems can become. So in a shit hits the fan situation, whenever, you're trying to source diesel and gasoline and propane to run all sorts of different systems, and you got to have solar also. Sometimes some of the things might be harder to come by, like maybe you can't come by propane. So if you've got a propane stove or oven or a propane heating system, but you got diesel that you're running in your vehicle and you can't come by propane because they're out everywhere, then that's a problem. That could happen with diesel also. That can happen with gasoline. So we're going on our electric system, 100% solar on the roof, so that we could charge our battery bank that we're going to have. And then for a heat source, we're thinking of doing a little wood stove on the inside. And I know that a lot of insurance companies frown on wood stoves. And here's why. because they're not always installed correctly as per manufacturer recommendation. But come to find out, most insurance companies don't like it when you're DIYing stuff, because you tend to have more problems with burning down your rig, with electrical fires and embers falling on the place and catching on fire. And they don't really want to take on that liability for conversions and stuff. So we have liability insurance, and guess what? They can't really tell us what we can or can't have, because if we burn the thing down, they're not going to pay for it anyway. So there's that.
That's just kind of the ongoing conversation that we keep getting into with people who have schoolies, people who already have a stove or a rooftop party deck, all those things. Most people, all they can get is liability. So, I don't know. You take a risk. You're taking a risk doing pretty much anything in your life. So, yeah. So. We've got some good comments.
Good comments.
Here.
What do we got?
Stefan says, make sure that your water piping is closer to the inside so you fit the insulation between the bus steel and the pipes.
You got that right.
Or else you risk freezing and bursting pipes.
Absolutely. That is a solid tip. And that's part of the plan that we have. And if you've seen our video on the furring strips, when we were putting those in, and you see how they're all about 2 inches, 1.5 to 2 inches, depending on where they're at. We actually have almost 4 inches between the edge of the furring strip and the wall. So the insulation is going to go all the way up against the wall, and where there's actual piping going to be for plumbing, we're also going to have the plumbing itself insulated because there's plumbing wrap that you can get that's basically foam wrap for pipes and stuff. Yep. We're actually going to have that too. So that's a great hot tip. Yes. About not having pipes burst. Thanks so much for dropping that. We appreciate it.
Really good tip. Okay. Are you planning on building a roof deck? Yes, but we are going to be calling it what's it called?
It's called rooftop storage. So that's another thing. I see 2Connect 2000s had something about insurance just now. That's another thing about insurance companies. They don't want you to have a rooftop deck because they think that you're going to be hanging out and lounging up there, getting your suntan on, getting a nice view of the landscape. Why
would anyone do that?
Exactly.
It seems ludicrous.
However, if you look at, I know, right? However, if you have a Class A diesel pusher, which is basically a school bus that's but an RV, a lighter weight version, a lot more expensive, less economical sort of thing, but they're beautiful. Almost every single one of them has a rooftop rack for storage of some kind. And most all of them also have a ladder that's fixed to the outside to climb up on top of the roof. So it's all in the wording and the purpose that you have built into what you are building. So are we going to have a platform up there to store stuff? Yes, absolutely. Because we might want to tote around a couple kayaks or maybe a canoe or something. And we may need to also jump up there and clean the solar panels.
Or get my tan up.
Or we might be up there in our bathing suits doing work and maintaining the rooftop stuff while getting our lounge on. There you go. Right. But we don't have full coverage, so liability is not going to cover that anyway. So,
and then as for insuring the stuff inside, we have other kinds of insurance that have nothing to do with the vehicle, don't we?
Yeah. We have it's called personal effects insurance, and basically homeowners insurance, renters insurance, any of the companies that provide those sort of things, you can get personal effects insurance. So when we were traveling the world, going to 19 different countries for like 3 years straight, we insured our laptops, our cameras, and I think it was like $5,000 per person or something is what we had, because like our cameras and stuff equaled about that much, and laptops. Yeah. So if something took a shit and fell in the water or something, then we could at least just pay a deductible and get a brand new one or get money for it or something like that.
So we might slap a fridge or something else in there. We could probably add other appliances and things to that plan and just call it good.
It's personal effects. All they want to know is the make, the model, the serial number of what you're wanting to insure. And then also, if you've got the original receipt, you can plop that to them, send it to them via email or whatever. That's what we did. And that seemed to work pretty well. And we've had no problems with that.
Yeah. Okay, there's a lot of really good things happening in here, and I am trying to keep up with you guys. Stefan had...
Is that Stephanie?
Stefan. He's probably French. Because he's from this area.
Sorry, I'm not really good at that.
Whenever you run wiring or pipes through your wall studs, hammer on steel protector plates in the stud over where they pass so you don't risk hitting them with nails or screws.
Solid.
So good.
Totally solid. Another hot tip to go along with that is when you're planning out your wiring, if you have your wiring and it's hot in the wall, there's something called a hot stick that is a non-contact electrical detector. So this thing, basically, you just touch it near a wire and it'll tell you whether or not it's hot or not. And so that also works through the walls. I used that whenever I was a firefighter in Austin, Texas, to detect where wires were before we go banging through walls and stuff, depending on what the emergency was. So that's a hot one also. Another really awesome one for wiring is this stuff called Smurf tube. Basically, it is conduit that's blue that you run between all your junction boxes, and it allows you to protect the wires from abrasions from inside the wall through the studs. If you're going through steel, it shields the wire also. So that's also another real good one. Huge shout out to our friends Meredith and Paco from Houston, Texas. Boop, boop, boop. Represent. Welcome. Good to see y'all.
We'd be building a motorcycle rack. Heck yeah.
Yes.
What was that vehicle called? The Polaris thing we saw the other day?
We saw a Polaris. It was just a brand called Polaris. They make a lot of things, but it was like one of those little 6-wheeled It's got like a cab. It's like a 6-wheel drive or something like that.
It's got like a little mini truck bed on the back. And I was like, oh, it's like my dream machine. I wanted an ATV. Yeah. Brian wants a moto.
Yeah.
What's it called? Enduro.
Like an Enduro or something.
I really think that ripping around on an ATV is amazing. And then we saw this Polaris like little cab thing with a mini truck bed on the back. And I was like, oh, that looks hilarious. We'll see what's in the budget by the time we get this thing done. But yeah, it would be nice and smart, I think, to have a smaller vehicle. So once you're parked and you're all set up, you can just take a rip into town, or if you're unsure about a road, to go ahead into the wild and see where you can park.
Open that throttle up and get going. Yeah. So we want something that, because we're not going to tow a car behind us. So we want something that we can possibly hang off the back of the schoolie. It's 40 feet long already, so it can't be too long. Or we go into another class of driver's licenses and all sorts of different headaches with licensing with that. So I think that a motorcycle of some kind would be pretty good. And then also what that'll do is motorcycles are street legal. So then we can go and make cool like little trips to the store if we need to, if we're parked off grid somewhere and just want to zip into town. Or if we can't get into a national park that doesn't allow something this long in the park, we can park outside the park and ride the moto in with like a tent and maybe do some camping in parks also.
Yeah.
What else we got?
We got asked by Olive and Us 2020. Why did you decide blue on the bus?
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think we just thought it was a cute color, and then we went with it. And then this pandemic thing, I don't know. I was like, oh shit, should we have done it like a
camouflage
color so we can bust out of here?
But if you think about it, it kind of is camouflage, because if we're in the open prairie and we're on the horizon, it looks like the sky with little clouds above it, sort of thing, right?
No one will ever see us.
Oh, geez.
If jeans can't hold in a fart, then what's a mask gonna do? Yeah, that's what I was
That's
saying.
exactly. Well, what's
Yeah.
interesting about that,
I just
Meredith and
wrote
Paco?
that.
Oh, you got it?
I know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
If you can smell a fart through a mask, then it's not effective. They were talking about masks and farts, and I missed out on whatever was happening.
Well, the particle, the smell particle versus the virus particle are different sizes. So here's the virus particle. Here's the smell particle. If that particle can go through, that's where the joke is, which is hilarious. It's
a
like
dirty joke.
Right.
What's
Anyway.
up, Cheryl? We got Jim up in here. Jim said something. How about a couple of e-bikes? That's a great idea. I was looking at these little e-bikes the one day.
With the big fat tires?
Yeah, they were really fat tires and they were so cute. I thought that would be really fun because we love riding bikes so much. We didn't even get our bikes out this summer because we've just been hanging out.
Right here.
No complaints, though. It's the best hanging out I've done for ages.
I'd have to say so also.
Yeah. Robin, it's like a lot of trendy combis that are around. They're sky blue. Really? I don't even know what that is. Combi.
Can a bus be inconspicuous?
Sorry.
I don't know.
No.
Actually, yes, it can be. And here's how. If you're at a truck stop and you're parked amongst the trucks, the bus is actually teeny weeny compared to like the 18-wheelers.
It looks like a baby. You can kind of like park a little further back.
On our road trip from Phoenix to Texas I think it was Phoenix to Texas to get the title switched over from school bus to motorhome, we actually stayed at a couple truck stops because it was just a convenient place to say, oh, we need to get some diesel and we need a place to stay that's safe. And so we would park between the 18-wheelers, and this one place that we parked, they were all lined up like at this perfect interval. And then we were like a third of the way through in a spot, and it was at night. There was just one light shining down, and it was a real moody picture, but there was our teeny little bus and then all these massive 8-wheelers, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so cute.
Fun memories, right?
Yes. Olive and us 2020, our bus is named the Beepmobile. Like Bee Adventure Partners, short is really Brian, and Aaron is the B, and then Adventure Partners. So Beep is just like short.
It's the acronym. Yeah, it's short.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know that, there's some hot trivia quiz for you right there.
Yeah. Oh, my buddy Cheryl's here.
What's up, Cheryl?
These are more schooly friends. You plan on spending more time in warmer weather once the bus is done, or up in Canada in colder weather? It really depends on whether we can cross the border or not. Like Brian can cross the border because he's American. He might have to abandon me if he wants to go down there, and I hope he wouldn't do that.
No.
After all this,
I would never do that.
So yeah, if we can get across the border, heck yeah, beelining it, warm, sun, bathing suit, roof deck. But yeah, we'll see. We're going to be prepared for all seasons, no matter what. Insulating the underbody. I saw people talking about the underbody. I think Skunkworks said he just like cut the whole side of his bus out. I don't know where that went. I don't know where that went. I'm pretty sure someone just said that they cut the whole side of their bus out for underbody storage. We're going to cut the whole underbody out, and we've got space. Like if you've seen our buddies Nap Time bus.
Yeah.
Those guys have a beast of
Shelly
an underbody.
and Randy.
Shelly and Randy. That's like one of our fave channels. We are definitely going to make an underbody storage like that. Was it like 22 feet or something down there?
I think it's about 22 feet or so between the front wheels here and the back wheels there, and this whole area between there. Because we're a rear engine, we don't have a drive shaft that goes from the front of the bus to the back of the bus. So we've got all that storage room, all that empty space below the skirt line. So the floor starts right about here on the bus. So it's about from here to here, about 26, 27 inches a little bit higher depending on where you're at under there, but that's probably about the average. But it goes all the way through. So we were looking at different specs from the Thomas manufacturer on the size of the doors that they use. So they're about 11 feet long, the size that they use. So we'll kind of see where our support members are in there, and we're going to fab up an insulated underbody storage that's going to be completely flush with the bottom edge of the skirt here. We're not going to go lower than that because of the length of the bus. We will run into bottoming out problems. Mm-hmm. But Thomas School Buses, and any school bus for that fact, makes their skirts, the part that hangs down, a certain height based on, you know, what the conditions are, speed bumps and going over hills and just how roads are made. Even though we're going to be going off road with this, like we'll have a skid plate sort of thing underneath that, and it'll be completely insulated. I think we're probably going to use like 2-inch rigid board insulation throughout there, completely watertight. And then that's where like our fresh water and our gray water tanks will live, along with some cool like slide out drawers and all sorts of cool stuff. We're not to that yet, but that's coming soon because we got a lot of really cool projects that are going to require us using that space, like doing the plumbing, for instance. We're going to have to plumb to something, so that's where we're going to have to go. And so we're going to have to open that up.
Nice one, Cam. From Cans Float Bottles Don't. He said, I wish you didn't have to make that storage because they have it already.
Lucky dogs.
Storage. He also said that his Mullet Pro didn't help him out when he got attacked by bees.
By the yellow jackets?
We didn't promise that when we made those pro videos. No bees in this barn.
Yeah, there's no bees. Not in here.
So far, too damn cold. Anyways.
Yeah. And Mullet Pro would be something that you wear on top of it. So were you wearing that kind of like Mexican style hat? I guess it was that woven hat.
Sombrero.
Yo sombrero, sí, señor.
Sí.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah, you gotta wear your pro, kids.
Wear your pro for sure. For sure.
Robin wants to see us do a cooking video for 2020 Christmas in the Beatmobile over the hearth fire.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a great video idea. If we do that,
yeah, we definitely could.
We'll shout you out, girl. Make you your favorite meal. And then we can eat it together on like a Zoom call or something.
Oh my gosh, it would be like, what are the YouTube videos called where they eat in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Mukbang?
Oh, we should do a dirty mukbang video in the schoolie. Who wants to do that? Is that funny?
Would y'all want to do like a Zoom call maybe? You know what we could do? We can do a Zoom call with maybe like 20 different people.
Yeah.
And then so everybody's little face will be up there and everybody will be eating something at the same time.
Like a potluck.
And then we'll stream it live on the YouTube channel. Would that be hilarious?
Yeah, that'd be so good. Oh,
Ryan Beecher, what's up, dude? Your bus is coming along awesomely. Holy smokes.
Go check out Ryan's bus.
If you haven't seen Ryan, definitely check him out.
The guy has smiles for miles too, which is amazing. You would puke if you saw me half naked.
We'll show that comment.
We're going to show that. I don't know.
I think maybe half naked maybe triggered that one so we went ahead and allowed that one because that was funny.
Always remember different strokes for different folks. Don't write yourself off ever.
No, definitely not.
Don't ever. Could you guys say happy birthday to Allison? Happy birthday, Allison.
What's up, Allison?
She's going to be 21. Go, girl. Get it, girl. Those are the days. I don't think I would ever go back to 21, but it's definitely a decade to learn all your lessons and have a ridiculously good time. Yeah.
YOLO.
Yeah, we got some Zoom potluckers coming in to exist.
We might have to have maybe a raffle for that because I think it might be popular because we already have RSVPs coming in from 2AZ Sun.
Oh, that would be so gross and funny to just all chew together.
Yeah, and have hilarious conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like our videos, definitely give us some thumbs up on our videos. That really helps the channel out. And even though we're all chatting and stuff, drop a comment on videos as they come out, because that also helps us get shown to more people. And we really, really appreciate everybody, because this is just really cool. We've never done like film production and stuff before we started doing the whole YouTube channel thing. So we originally started with just using our phones way back 2016, I guess.
And most of our videos look like this, except we didn't have a bus in the background.
No, we had like a blank wall.
Yeah, we're just at random Airbnbs where we were living for like 3 years.
What is the ground clearance on our bus? That is a really good question. And I think I've got a tape measure. I'm going to measure it live right here.
Right here. He's going to go measure it.
All right, let's see.
Oh.
13 inches right there.
That front corner is a dirty devil when you're going down a really steep driveway.
And 14 inches.
Dirty devil.
So about 13 inches on the front edge.
Yeah. What's the weight limit on your bus? Are you worried how heavy things are getting? Have you thought about the weight? Yeah, we have a video that you should check out where we went and weighed it on the scale when it was empty. We had just like taken everything out. I think it was 22,000 pounds before we took out all the metal.
Yeah. So
when we got the
Tony
title
from AAA Bus and Joe, they removed all the seats except 4 rows so that we can qualify for insurance so we could drive it to Texas. Well, after that, we had to get the bus weighed at one of the certified weigh stations, because that was one of the requirements to get the title switched over. And it ended up being, I think, 20,200 pounds, right around there, or it might have been 20,400 pounds, something like that. I've got the notes somewhere.
Yeah.
So after we removed all the sealing material, so all the metal on the inside, all the insulation, it was just kind of nasty yellow insulation that needed to be removed anyway, along with all the wall metal and the floor, the subfloor, all the way down to the metal floor pan. We then went to get it weighed again just because we wanted to see what it was at, and it ended up being 18,200 pounds. Our gross vehicle weight rating is 32,400 pounds total.
I doubt we'll get there.
I don't think we're going to get there because we're being pretty conscious about weight of stuff and the layout that except for the countertop. The counter is a little bit weighty.
Not that weighty. You can carry it by yourself.
Yeah, I can carry it by myself.
If you can carry it by himself, it's not that weighty.
The door's heavier than the countertop.
That door was heavy AF.
So I don't think that we're gonna come anywhere close to the 32,000 pounds. So yeah.
Jim says that he wonders if anyone makes a lift kit for a bus. That would be so awesome. I would love to lift the bus. I want big dumpy tires on the bus so bad. Like every time I see a monster truck, because for some reason there's a bunch around here. Every time I see one, I just want like some big fat dumpy tires and just so we can go off-roading more. Like that's our style. So yeah, this might slow us down a bit from going off-roading the way we're accustomed to.
Too much off-roading. You could still take these things on dirt roads and gravel roads and stuff like that. But always, 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 regardless of what you're driving, whether you're driving a boat, an airplane, a helicopter, a car, a motorcycle, whatever you're driving, drive for the conditions, because it's when it's the weight shift that happens on big vehicles like this that normally causes accidents. So here's an example. If you have 100 gallons of fresh water inside the vehicle somewhere, it's 8.25 pounds per gallon of fresh water at sea level. So what that means is if you've got 100 gallons, you have 825 gallons that is shifting. Now, most freshwater tanks that are on RVs, schoolies, the ones that you can buy, they don't have baffles in it. So baffles are basically these little wall structures that are throughout certain types of tanks, like on fire trucks that have, 1,000-gallon tanks. There's these walls in there that prevent the water from sloshing around and weight shift from happening. So whenever you have that much weight Like if you're turning and the water goes and slams to one side or the other, that can cause you to have erratic driving. So always drive for the conditions, drive safe. You don't need to be going anywhere fast. Like, it's a pleasure craft. Just kind of just take it easy, right?
Yeah, take it for the slow
Have
ride.
fun.
Yeah. Like our thing, pretty much our motto about everything is there's no need to be in a rush. Like I feel like whenever we get in a rush, things always get messed up. Someone gets bitchy, like something bad happens. It's just not worth it. Just like chill out. Just chill out.
Yeah.
Just enjoy life. Be present. Just like take it back a kip and you'll feel really good about it. For the most part.
Let's see. Cans Flow Bottles Down asks, what are y'all using for water filtration? Well, we're probably going to use water filter some kind. That's for sure.
We might have a little thing set up for that.
Yeah, we've got a few different options that we're throwing around because, and here's the thing, there's a lot of different types of schools of thought that happen when it comes to water filtration. So if you're going to just fill up from like a city tap, like let's say you go to RV park and you hook up to their hose or whatever, that's probably like municipal water supply, which doesn't necessarily need a lot of filtration. You can filter out the chlorine, heavy metals, and maybe mercury or whatever. Like you feel like filtering out fluoride, get the fluoride out of there.
It is arguable considering that like water goes through pipes and that's not really a natural thing. And
so having like
we should just be drinking out of streams and stuff if people weren't disgusting and pollute the water.
So having a carbon filter for that would probably be just fine. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to go start siphoning water out of running streams and lakes like Aaron was just talking about, then you might want a little bit heavier duty water filtration because of things like Giardia. Carbon filters don't necessarily filter out Giardia. So things like infrared filtration neutralizes Giardia and all those dirty little gut bug bacterias and stuff. So there's a few different options for filtering out different types of stuff. There's ceramic filters. I saw that someone was talking about Berkeys are awesome. They are awesome if a countertop system is what you're going for. But we want the option of being able to induct it from a stream or a lake or something into our system. So we've already been drawing the schematics for our plumbing system. And one of the things that we have planned out is a closed loop system that we can turn on and off. So if we need to hot load some water really fast from a stream, but we don't want it going into our full water system, then we can shut off certain valves and have it go in a loop through the filtration. And so then you just have to calculate, well, how many gallons per minute is my pump going? If it's a 4 gallon per minute pump, then you just divide it by how many gallons you have in your tank. And that'll tell you how much time you need to do a circulation before you can open up your house lines again. So there's all sorts of different filtration options available. And we haven't settled on one particular one yet, but we have a few that we're looking at and we're just kind of weighing out space and stuff like that also.
Yeah.
Power. Yep.
I wasn't plugged in the whole time. Mike's asking what we're gonna do with internet on the road. He said, are you just using data or satellite? Because he said it's expensive.
We're done with the internet after this build.
Yeah, we're gonna quit.
And we're gonna drive off into the sunset and live happily ever after.
And we're like, love you guys. We'll do one last video where we'll have a dirty old mukbang dinner.
A Zoom call, mukbang.
Then we'll just say we love you guys.
Just kidding.
And
we
the
need
ones
the internet.
we love the most, we'll give our location, our pin drop, longitude and latitude, and we'll just meet there.
Long and lat. That's going to be the addresses.
No, we're looking into satellite internet. I have no idea how expensive it is. We have looked into some things. There's these like cool systems that are like, and they pop up off the roof.
Yeah.
That might be a thing. Right now we're on a hot spot. We're like literally just outside of a city at this barn, and our internet connection sucks here. So
and this is working.
Wild,
so we're happy.
This works, but being out in the wild is obviously going to be challenging. And we've done a lot of travel where we've just like lived off of cell data and hotspots. It's not really ideal. But yeah, the goal is to figure out some kind of satellite internet. That would be really nice. Someone brought up Starlink.
Yeah, we actually
I don't even have to
submitted.
think about that
We submitted to become beta testers
for Starlink. Except I'm kind of scared that it's like 5G, and
Yeah.
I don't know what 5G
I don't want it
is
if it's
doing in the world.
5G.
I don't want to be a part of 5G.
If
nothing.
you haven't looked up what happens with the 5G network, go Google that a little bit, but we're not going to talk a lot about 5G today.
No, we don't want to talk about that. But yeah, look that up. We had another question. What is the estimated date for completion? Have you set a date? You can't really set a date.
Our estimated date was February 29th of this year. That was this
way back.
So now it's like
me. Not too concerned.
So because of all of that, I was just like, you know what? Maybe I need to like become a resident of Canada or something. So I've got like an application in for that so that I don't have to worry about tourist visas or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And Canada recommended that he sticks around until that's over, or else if he leaves, Canada might not let him back in, and then all of his paperwork is totally void.
They'll say that I abandoned my application.
And he won't get his money back for applying and all that jazz. So we're just gonna hang tight and stay up here. And plus, with the current border situations and all this stuff, like we just don't want to even be a part of it, and we may as well enjoy finishing the bus and going at a steady kip. So I don't know, we want to get it done. Well, our main goal is to get it done enough that we can start staying out here and testing stuff out. Like our buddies, the Naps, Shelly and Rainy Knapp, like they've been hanging out in their bus while they're doing the build,
which is cool.
Which is so cool. And I'm sure that it's been stressful or they've had painful moments or whatever, but I really think that it was a good thing for them because it's helped them decide how to move things around and change things that they don't like. And that's the best thing about this whole thing is like you're building this thing from scratch. You know how it works. You start to get to know your machine. And if, I don't know, something goes wrong or you don't like it, you just change it. Like how many times did we change the toilet while we were making it? A lot. We changed the toilet a lot. Like we literally, you're gonna see. I think that's our next
quite
video
a few times
in a couple days. You're gonna see like we made a prototype that was literally just like a simple thing, and then we change that thing and develop it and turn it into something that we really like. So
turn it into something that'll catch turds really fine.
I can't get a new puppy.
A lot about internet and the antennas and stuff like that. We've looked at a few different antenna options where there's like telescopic poles that you can put up. We're looking at the WeBoost, but I think the WeBoost only boosts cell phone signal, not the data signal. There are two different signals for making a phone call and actually using internet. And so there's another system that you can hook up to it where you've got the same sort of WeBoost antenna deal, but it's got like two of them and they kind of go at different directions. And you hook that up to like a wireless modem. You can get little SIM cards and stuff for different types of data packages through different providers. So with those, you can get an app on your phone where you can actually locate where all the cell phone towers are. And I've heard that you can get freaking miles and miles and miles more reception than just using the normal transmitter and receiver that's on the device that's collecting the signal. So you throw it up in the air, you find on your phone where the closest antenna is that's compatible with your system. You point it in that direction, bada bing, Bob's your uncle, you got internet. But those work line of sight, I heard. So another option we're looking at is the satellite internet, like Aaron was talking about. And that would have like a little device on the roof and you hit a button and it freaking spins around, gets your geolocation and then zaps a satellite. And then there's also our boy, Elon Musk. He's shooting up some rockets every once in a while. And he's going to be beaming down some internet also. So we'll see what happens with that.
Polluting the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay. This is interesting. Jim says you're inside a metal bus, which is pretty much a Faraday cage, and a 5G satellite antenna would be outside. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the power of 5G. Like, I heard that they put up a 5G tower and all these birds, like hundreds of birds, were just swarming this tower and like ripping it apart. And like, heard about people going out to these 5G satellites and being like within a pretty good amount of footage away from it and just getting like nosebleeds and stuff. Like, I don't know if it's good, guys.
Yeah, we're not too sure about all that
Hi,
yet.
Beepers.
Jury's still out.
We got a hi, Beepers.
Oh.
What up, Arthur? Oh, I saw Daniel Lopez on here. What's up, Daniel? So many good people jumping on. Thank you. Thanks to everybody who's jumping on. I'm having a hard time keeping up with these comments, guys, but we're loving it. I have to like go through and read everything after.
What project do you guys think we should be working on next? Let us know in the comments, in the chat. We'd love to know. We got an idea of some that we want to be working on, but not all of them. What do you got?
5G, no wonder I'm growing a third arm.
Oh,
just pee out the door while moving. We talked about that. Yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
we did with
like,
cans float.
Just blasting, like have a urine diverter still, so like it's like a civilized toilet. We just blast a pipe out the side while you're driving.
Arthur just bought a bus and doing the subfloor right now.
High
that
five.
is awesome.
So cool.
Our videos have been a great help. Nice. Awesome.
You.
Thanks so much. If you haven't seen, we publish some articles occasionally on the website that go along with the bus build that might also help. TheAdventurePartners.com.
Oh, Cheryl said, finish the shower.
Finish. Oh, Cheryl. Jeez.
I know we want to.
We're going to get to the shower.
We just had a sick idea for how we're going to like wrap the outside of it.
The curve on the exterior side, not the inside.
I want to do it like right now.
Yeah.
I want to do it right now. We probably won't. There's like priority lists. If you guys have seen like our big whiteboard, we have a list and we are trying to do things in priority, and it's really like based on Canadian winter coming in hard and strong. Like we've had some like flirty fall days already, and it's like literally the middle of September. So yeah.
K-Sync had a really good comment. What have you absolutely hated doing on the bus so far?
Ooh,
that's a good one. I think I wouldn't say hate, because that's a very strong word. I really love all sorts of aspects of building. I would say strongly dislike. I really love the demolition phase, but I couldn't wait to start building.
Yeah.
So I would say ripping out the old insulation, that was not really my favorite. I would say that was probably my number one not favorite thing, was ripping out the old insulation, because it was itchy. Yeah. We wore our blue suits and everything.
That was kind of fun though, wearing the suits.
But I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't really like when I have to wear like the respirator and stuff. That kind of sucks, because I just want to be a free spirit. I don't like wearing the glasses. Guys,
ain't nobody like being like muzzled, right?
No.
I don't like being muzzled. Do you like being muzzled?
But wearing the eye pro, always like I get like a headache from wearing it, and I just feel like as soon as we get in here, we put on our pro, we put on the eye pro, we put on the ear pro, and we get to work pretty much right away. So, but what have I hated? I haven't really hated anything. I think that math is a big one. Like whenever I'm challenged with math and maybe we're hungry or something, and then we get a little pissy about like math situations.
I love math. I love math, and geometry drives me crazy sometimes. But yeah, I think it's a happy mix though, because Aaron's super, super freaking creative and stylizing and designing stuff. I'm good at more of the logistics part of it, like cause and effect. Okay, if we do this, what happens if this happens and this happens and this happens? Okay, if that doesn't work, then how else can we change it? And just talking back and forth for designs and ergonomics and stuff like that.
I'm super detail oriented.
Yeah.
So Brian will like say that we're sanding or something. Brian will get all like the heavy sanding done, and then I go in and make it really pretty. I'm always about making things pretty. I used to be a hairstylist, so I have a good eye for fashion design. And don't judge my hair because I don't do it half the time, but I'm not a hairstylist anymore. So
yeah. Skunkworks says you had it easy with screws, Brian. Try rivets.
yeah.
So rivets, yeah, those can get, especially if they're the ones that are I forget what the actual name is, but they don't have a mandrel in the middle, and you've got a bucker on the inside and then the person on the outside. They don't have a spot that you can just drill them out easily. So you have to use like an air chisel or use an angle grinder with like a cutting wheel or something. Those are more difficult, but the rivet types that have a mandrel and they've got like a little dot in the middle, those are easy to drill out. All you have to do, the first couple might be a little difficult, but you have to end up getting the exact same size drill bit as the shaft on the rivet. And once those line up perfectly, they freaking just drill out. You're like, just all day long, have a cold one and just have fun with it. But the ones that you have to actually use an air chisel, gosh, I've got some mad respect for all y'all who have to deal with that.
Didn't skip shoulder day.
No, definitely don't.
No.
Got to get them round boys nice and round. You call them round boys, right?
Round boys.
Round boys.
Round boys. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are saying that the rivets sucked. A lot of people didn't like taking out the rivets. Resealing the bus windows, Bethany said, was challenging.
That's if you're using the same ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine, we actually had something funny happen. One of our earliest videos where we were driving back from Phoenix with the bus, we were driving through, where was that crazy windy?
That was in between, that was after El Paso, between El Paso and San Antonio.
Yeah. And it was windy, and we're just seeing like these sand tornadoes in our, what's it called? A cyclone?
Yeah, like a little dirt devil.
A dirt devil.
Just spinning in the distance.
And our original windows are just like dropping like it's hot. And I had to go back and gorilla tape them up. And I was just like, man, I don't know about reusing these windows. If anyone needs windows and they're in Ontario, Canada, let us know. Send us a private message. We have a ton of them.
Yeah.
We literally have a ton of them.
We took them out kindly. Yeah. They're all in the same, well
the shape that they were in when we got them.
We didn't damage them any more than they already were, but they've got great aluminum frames and glass on them and stuff.
We might just scrap them if nobody takes them, but yeah. Trying to remove plywood under the rear heater. Oh, the rear heaters. Those were gross.
Yeah, that was
the coolant lines,
having to reroute the coolant. Well, not reroute, but there was a T in the back for the rear heater, and we put in double male barbed fittings to take the T out, and that was a mess.
Nasty.
But I think we mitigated it pretty well with the bag and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was just like, meh.
I feel like any job, if you just laugh it off, is like, whatever. Some things take longer and you really just like don't expect it to take that long and you just kind of go with the flow. Some things make me yawn like a lot. Like if we're doing a lot of math stuff, I yawn a lot.
And then I push up my glasses and I'm like, okay, let me start writing all this down. And I start drawing pictures. We keep little pieces of just like the painter's paper that we've done all sorts of projects with. Like we'll lay it on the floor, we'll mask off the bus and stuff. Well, we save all that paper and we cut them into like little pieces that we can actually just make notes on. And we've got a box here on the wall that we just lined them all up. Aaron like cut them all real nice. And so if we need scratch paper, we just go there, grab a Sharpie, grab a pencil, and we just start. I love it. It's
nice to have scrap paper.
Yeah. And then after we make drawings, I normally shoot a picture of it because someday they're going to go into the blog post or we'll put them in to Get Your Schoolie On e-course. And they're nice to have.
Yeah.
What else we got there?
Lots of people just talking about different stuff, like pulling out the wiring, removing unneeded wiring.
Wiring.
That's kind of a scary.
I follow one at a time.
Yeah.
One wire. All right, this is going to a speaker. All right, where's it going? One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah. K-Sync says math, hates math. Math is like just, it's not that exciting to me. I'm okay at it. I'm getting better at it because I'm with the math man. But
I use a calculator, folks. I don't do it all in my head.
I like tracing and hand sketching things. But he is getting more open to like sketching and just kind of trusting in my flow of how I'm creative also.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest learning curves ever, is working with a partner on something like this. Like usually, like if you're a creative person or you build stuff or I don't know, you make stuff on your own as an individual human, and then you start making stuff with somebody else. Like now it's, you have to, I don't know, be a little more malleable so that you can learn how to work together
and learn how to communicate together.
It takes a while. It takes a little while. We didn't have a fight, but we definitely got frustrated with each other when we did the windows.
Ooh.
Not putting the windows in, way before that. Like when we decided to cut out the ribs and reframe the windows and redo the sheet metal, and we reused our ceiling sheet metal. So it wasn't like just putting up a nice, clean, fresh piece of sheet metal. I wear my special ring for that. It wasn't like putting up a brand new clean piece of sheet metal. No, we decided to reuse the sheet metal. So we had two overlapping pieces that go around the frame. That's why our bus kind of has a Frankenstein-y vibe, or at least used to, before we seamed all the seals. But we
sealed all the seams,
but we definitely had challenging moments trying to figure out how to math that and how to figure that out. And that in particular moment in time just helped us work together so much better, because every time that we get in a little funk, we learn how to kind of communicate through it, or give each other a minute to kind of cool off and go work on something else, and then
go work on something that makes you happy.
Yeah, it's good for you.
And then we're both working on the same thing, because working on this together makes us happy.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. Cool. I mean, what are the things you guys are learning that you're so excited about? Tell us in the comments. There's so much to learn. There's so much to learn from this. It's really good. Anybody else have any more questions? We got people building stealth campers.
Yeah, stealth camper.
Math man. Is that a capped or non-capped hero?
Maybe caped or non-caped.
Caped. Oh, he's probably caped.
Math man. Hero with a mullet.
It's a really exciting experience, really satisfying. It makes you really happy. Yeah.
Yes.
There's not really a better time than now to do something like this. With all the chaos that's going on, like, even if you're not building a bus, do something that makes you feel good in your mind and in your soul, because what's happening in society is so emotionally draining and brutal that if you don't give yourself something back, you're screwed. You're screwed. You just end up being one of the lemmings that follows off the cliff, off the edge of the cliff, into the dark hole.
Yeah. Free thinking, the awakening happening during this great reset that's going on. Mike Maynard has a great question. What are your thoughts about traveling with pets? Well, we don't have any at the moment.
Don't have any pets.
We don't have any pets at the moment. I used to have a dog for friggin' 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
That was a while ago. And found her a brand new home back in 2017 when we went traveling full time to a lovely older couple who kept her, and she's living a great life.
Mm-hmm.
other than that, like, if you love animals, then by all means travel with them. I know that our buddies Meredith and Paco are going to be traveling with their animals.
They've got several animals.
Yeah, I think that they're actually building was it a cat tree? A cat tree. They've got
cool.
Yeah, a little compartment for that, which is pretty interesting.
And they've got a dog.
They've got Joey.
That's very cool. We see a ton of people doing it and people traveling with kids.
Those are like pets.
I do wonder about crossing borders and stuff. Like, I don't know what that's like to have a pet.
Yeah, there's laws about that.
Yeah, the one couple we saw, I think they went down into Mexico, and this is before all the crazy stuff, but they went down into Mexico, and I think that their dog was quarantined for a bit, and then they had to like go get their dog back. So I don't know about that stuff. I would rather, I think, like once we get parked on a homestead someday, I don't know when that's going to be, but once we get nice chunk of land, have the bus, move the bus around on the piece of land and have some chickens and goats and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's great. Brian Davis, welcome. Better late than never. What did you miss? Well, do you want to recap everything really quick? You'll have to see the replay.
Could we? I don't know.
In the exact order that it happened too. Hey, thanks for showing up, though. It's good to see you on here.
Gotta move it around.
Near future and decide to have up your arsenal. What about the near future when you decide to have kids?
I don't know about us.
Now, that's assuming that, is that you, like the collective you? Like you're hypothetically saying you? Or are you telling us that we're going to decide to have, like, we're deciding to have kids?
Probably won't. I don't know. We're having a really good time.
We are having a really good time.
Probably won't have kids. If we did have kids, it wouldn't be for a while. I'm not sure if I'd want to bring kids into this current world atmosphere right now.
And I've got a ton of nieces and nephews in Texas.
Yep.
And then
which means I have some too.
Yeah. And you've got a new niece.
A new niece. Well, she's almost 2. Love that kid.
Newish, yeah.
So yeah, we've got a ton of friends with kids.
Oh yeah, and we love kids. We're really, really good with them. Have fun playing with them.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. But for us, maybe not right now.
Yeah,
we've got this big blue baby back here that we're babying. We got to spend so much time with the Beatmobile. Yeah.
This is our big baby. What someone said, Arthur said, I'm pretty sure he saw a bus with chickens on a roof in a cage once. We've seen that in a lot of countries.
Yeah, we've seen it in Nicaragua. We've seen it in
Belize,
Honduras, Costa Rica también.
Yep, lots of places. Brian with goats and rubber boots. Yeah. I think we could manage goats.
Oh,
I don't know about a goat on the bus.
Maybe not on the bus.
Probably not on the
bus.
But
when we homestead, we plan on, so long-term vision of the direction that we're going. We really love making films, a lot. So we're setting up the kitchen in a way to have a cooking segment on our channel because we're getting into canning. We're actually taking a course right now on how to can safely using the water bath canning method. So we're checking out that course. We're learning a whole ton on that. We want to do a lot of preserving. I would love to be able to have a homestead with Aaron one day and have a big smokehouse where we can have like hanging meat that we harvest ethically from the land and have, some acreage, work permaculture. But before all that, we want to be able to travel around and visit people who have homesteads, people who are living off grid, people who are going against the grain of what society says that we have to be as humans to get along in society. There's so many different, very fruitful ways that people can live and not be succumbed to the rat race that we've all been attached to for freaking the longest time and be able to make our own way, have our own little business online, maybe do farmers markets also someday. But we want to grow our own vegetables. We want to have maybe some goats, some chickens, some rabbits, and who knows what other types of animals that we might be able to have. But we want to get into all of that. And so we thought, what better way than to go and explore people who have done it, or people who are doing it, and find out, hey, if you were to do this all over again, what would you do differently to start out? What would you do in your climate? Would you be in this climate, wherever they are, in whatever climate zone that they're in? What would you do? And figure out, like, what is it that we want with that? Do we want to be in a colder climate and do more greenhouse work? Or do we want to be somewhere warmer and have to like have a really big well drilled and be able to like set up irrigation and stuff? Like, there's so many different ways of homesteading and living depending on where you're at.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
Like, that's what gets us excited.
Yeah.
Self-reliance and this resiliency that we as humans have, not to have to rely on the system or even rely on a job that's like, oh, you know, I'm going to this job and I'm not fulfilled and I'm just doing it to make rent or to make mortgage and just going down. Like, I was there. I was doing that. Aaron was doing that also. And like, not saying that we're perfect humans at anything in life, but we're just trying to figure out like, where can we fit in on this earth and have more fulfillment and more happiness? Because like, happiness has to come from within, from every single person. Like, I can't look to Aaron and say, you have to provide me happiness because you're my partner. And
it's a lot of weight to put on someone else. And I think the nice thing is, when you find a partner that is really good for you, most of the time your ideas are on the same level. And that is something that Brian and I have really found and has been beautiful, is that we both have the same mindset. I can't even imagine. Well, I can't imagine, because we've both been there, being in a partnership where you're just not on the same mindset track. And that's really challenging. But back to the homestead thing, or let's go back a little further. When we were traveling, Brian and I started to get to this point where we were just like, man, it'd be nice to have a home or do a homestead, or maybe we could do like the van life thing. And van life was kind of like our first little flirtation with this whole idea. And what we did was just start researching, like probably a lot of you who also got buses. Like, where does it start? Flirting with the idea of what other people are doing and more of what they wanted, to challenge themselves to do the conversion. And we were just like, man, that's a really great idea. So now that's exactly what we're doing again. We're doing this, but we're also really researching a lot about homesteading and figuring out, like, do we want to, like Brian said, do we want to live somewhere cold? Do we want to live somewhere warm? And currently we really aren't 100% sure yet. But it's a really exciting, fun time to just dig in and, I don't know, at least do some research, so that once we get the bus done, we can start driving around and figuring that out. We've had some really good questions. We got asked by Cribstud, can I ask a ballpark on how much your paint job cost?
Yes, you can ask. And
do you remember?
So we bought 5 gallons of Beauty Tone, and the color
Rust
is
coat?
actually, Rust Coat.
Beauty
It's
Tone
called
Rust Coat?
Orleans Blue, or Orleans Tune is what the actual name of it is called, that color. And it was like 160. It might have been like 165 or something like that for a 5-gallon pail. We used a Greco 390 PC airless sprayer that her dad actually has. So we hooked it up to that. And so the paint job was only like $160 or so. This is Canadian dollars. So a little bit less in US dollars, like 33% less in US dollars. And so what else? Tape. We had to buy some tape, maybe like 4 or 5 rolls of green tape. And
we didn't use that all on that project, but we used a lot of tape, which I hate throwing stuff out.
I would say less than $200.
Yeah.
Probably less
Probably
than
less than $200.
$200 to paint it,
Yeah.
and our time.
Yeah.
Like we had to remove all the windows were not in the bus yet. All the lights, we removed all them, and what we couldn't remove, we
Mirrors.
had to mask off the mirrors. So the time, it took a couple days to paint.
Yeah, took a bit of time to seam sealer it,
Oh,
clean
yeah.
the bus, sand the bus. It took days to sand. That was the worst job.
That's the
Back
one.
to
Okay.
K-Sync. K-Sync. That one's for you. Worst job was sanding the entire
She didn't like sanding the bus.
Not my favorite.
Wasn't her favorite,
Wasn't
and that's
my
okay.
favorite. No. Somebody said that was back a bit. Holy smokes. Oh, Bethany said if you thought about tying the knot, you could save on struggles with the visa.
We are common law.
We are common
like
law.
officially,
Yeah.
and like we've got documents and
Yeah.
everything.
We even
so,
own a business together,
Yeah.
so that's a thing.
Yeah.
Someone had a cat door into the underfloor where the litter box lived. All right, people still chatting
Couple
about.
travels with a monkey. Met them in Arizona last time. Stephen Council was on the road.
That's
interesting.
Grandpa cans a ton of vegetables. Yeah, man. Can it up. We're kind of preppers. Hate to admit it. We
love to admit it.
Prepping right now.
Yeah.
Currently in this current situation.
This is actually a bug out bus.
Yep. What's up, duct tape? Good to see you.
Yeah, duct tape.
Up your arsenal. When you decide to have kids, you need a bigger bus. Probably won't have kids. We've seen people put bunk beds and stuff in buses. I don't know how they fit all that in there. It's so amazing. We wanted like major spaciousness.
Spaciousness.
Big kitchen. Our kitchen is enormous. Aw, little Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
No, we wanted a huge kitchen because we're gonna do a cooking show where we do like preserving and canning and lots of cooking. We love cooking. So at some point, cooking will be a big part of this channel.
Hey, Brian Davis, sorry to hear that it's buffering on your side. Seems like a lot of people are not having an issue, so not sure if it's our internet or yours, but this is going to replay, and on our side, it's completely smooth. So it's recording fine, so the replay will be up after we're done with the live. I think YouTube posts it immediately.
Yeah. The Bus Life folks have 9 kids, Jim said. Something like 9 kids. Yeah. Maybe like 8.5. I don't know. Cans float. We love you guys too.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Oh my God, and those two.
The messages you sent earlier, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Not sure if anyone's heard of a witch's kiss.
Yeah.
We were told to look it up.
We're not going to Google it because they told us what the witch's kiss is, but we're not even going to talk about that. No. This is a family-friendly show. Damn it.
What's your favorite weather or season? Bye, Stephen Council. Great to see you,
Good to see you, bud.
We always love having you. Loonies, Toonies, and Tim Hortons, Rogers, and Labatt Blues.
What are your plans before finding a homestead? Do you plan on going to any national parks?
Oh, that's a nice
Logan
question.
Glazer. National parks, yes, but only the ones that allow a 40-foot bus schoolie to enter, because certain ones have length restrictions. That's something we're going to be documenting also along the way, is like what's the different restrictions for taking a schoolie and the different types of or lengths that they allow. So other than that, traveling, just a little while ago, we talked all about our plans after the bus is done.
Yeah.
So you may have to rewind that a little bit later, because that was a lengthy conversation we had.
We're going to homestead though. I'll talk about this a little bit more.
Yeah.
So when we get a piece of land, I heard
this is a cool idea.
This idea is so beautiful.
We didn't talk about this earlier.
We didn't talk about this. I did talk about moving the bus around on the property, and here's why. So we heard about this couple, they're kind of a hippie couple who lived in a teepee on a chunk of land that they just bought. And it was like a pretty massive property, like 50 acres or something like that. So they figured out the whole area, northwest, southeast, and they decided that once a year for 4 years, they would move to each quadrant of the property with their teepee. So they would live in the teepee the whole year, see the entire 4 seasons, and then they would move to the next quadrant. And they spent every single year like that and like really exploring and understanding their land, basically surveying their property so that they could decide where they would buy a house, or not buy a house, build a house, sorry, on the 5th year. We thought that that was such a great idea, and even better in a bus. So if you bought a property, say, that didn't have roads and it was very foresty, like our idea is to be caretakers of the land. So we don't want to go in there and cut like big, massive roads. We probably would have like modest roads that we could take the bus down and at least get to all 4 sections of the property. But we would observe the property and figure out, where does the water go? Where are the flood zones? Where's the highland? Where's the best sun? And where's the best spots to grow food? So that really just makes both of our hearts sing so much. We love being in nature. And though it has been so beautiful and wonderful to be here with my family and get to hang out with them and to also do this bus build, our hearts are wild and we have so missed being in nature the way that we have been in the past. That is our thing.
Sure. And I think regardless of where the land ends up being, we also want to pay attention to where the main floodplains are. So like if like this grand solar minimum thing that's going on right now, we're heading towards the end of a 400-year cycle that happens every 400 years where water levels start to rise, erratic weather starts happening. And so anything that's coastline is totally off our radar because those are the first flood plains. And so having something that's a little bit higher up, I'm not talking about thousands of feet up a mountain, but, not within, water rising distance for 100-year or 400-year floods that are going to be happening. So it's just one of those things you have to look and see where the topographic map lies and make some wise decisions based on all that.
And there's a lot of crazy weather happening in the world right now. If you look up weather anomalies, weather anomalies. If you look up weather anomalies happening, like even just in 2020, it's a freaking gong show. And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's like that every year." It is really heightening. I feel like, at least in my lifetime, weather has been heightening. What about you guys? What do you think about this? Like there's like floods happening in Africa right now where people are walking through waist deep water. It never floods there.
80% of China's farmlands are completely covered in water when they normally aren't. And they're doing rations and all sorts of crazy stuff there where like we saw one report where they said that women get 1 bowl of rice and men get 2 bowls of rice a day. And that is it. And so the crazy amount of rationing that's going on right now. And China recently did one of the biggest purchases ever of rice and grains and stuff. I forget what the total was, but it was millions and millions of dollars from other countries because they're having these shortages and stuff. And it's not just people. Exactly. It's not just Asia that it's happening to. It's Africa, it's Europe, it's the United States. Iowa recently had over 112 mile-an-hour winds destroy over 40% of the crops going on over there. So it's like, okay, we're all being like put into lines and told how many things that we can buy at stores, how many people can go into stores at one time. A little clue to everybody, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So
we're sending love to Christy. They're in the middle of Hurricane Sally right now. Arthur says that the hurricanes are crazy this year. And it's true. Like they're almost through the whole alphabet. It's bonkers. It's nice. We saw what are they called? Rolling Vistas. They were down in, I think, Oregon, and they said that the fires were so bad there, they had to peace out. And they were so grateful that they had a van that they're living in now to get out of there. Because a lot of people, they said the highways are nuts and it was terrifying. So I think, having wheels, I think could be an asset for sure. And that's one of our big reasons why we were talking about this earlier, why we're just going with diesel. Like diesel will be our only fuel on the bus. And if we get, what's that called? The extra,
like a generator?
Like a generator, it would be a diesel generator.
Yeah.
And then our heat will be wood and we'll have solar electricity. And we're also really interested in hydropower. And we have seen some badass little hydropower systems. This one guy made a hydropower system for like $30 and he put it in the water. It was just like, woo, and making hydro like crazy.
Just in the stream. What's up, Gordon Polson?
Gordon.
Welcome. Thanks so much for jumping on. We really appreciate it. And I imagine working on a yacht during a hurricane probably ain't a good thing. Button down the hatches and definitely stay safe. So something about hydropower that really started to intrigue me and start doing research. When we were in Colombia last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year we were in Colombia, 2019. We were at Finca La Victoria coffee plantation there on the west side of Colombia, up closer towards Venezuela area, Santa Marta area. They have a water wheel that has been spinning as a 14-inch in a cast iron impeller style. And it had a stamp from New York City, I believe it had a stamp on it from the 1800s. Now, this water wheel was installed at the coffee plantation over 100 years, and it's never lost power because it's hooked up to a stream. So this plantation's kind of in a hilly area, and there's fresh water that runs through. So what they did was they built 2 3,000-gallon water tanks out of concrete, and they have a little pipe that comes off the stream filling up the first tank. Then they have another pipe, like a 2-inch pipe going down to the second tank to keep that tank topped off. Then a third pipe goes straight down to the water wheel, spins this little wheel, and then it leaves that little area. It's all enclosed, so there's not water splashing around or anything. But this thing spins so fast and so consistently that they're able to power 20 houses in the immediate vicinity. No one's ever had to pay for electric costs there. They power the coffee plantation, all the machines, and a brand new brewery that a German couple came and built there in Minca, Colombia.
And something like 20 houses.
20 houses.
It was a lot. I forget. It was like a good amount of houses, but it was really impressive. And they only ever had problems with like runoff or water pollution like one time.
But that didn't disturb the water. Yeah. The reason why she brings up the water pollution part is because they use the water from that whole system to wash the coffee beans. And so that was only one time that they had the problem with that. Yeah. But they talked with the farmer who was doing illegal dumping or whatever, and they fixed it.
It's pretty cool. I mean, if you can figure out how to recharge batteries with different ideas, that's pretty awesome. Ideally, it would be nice to like not really use that much technology. And if one day we just disappear, guys, like I mentioned, we'll have a Last Supper on here, do a mukbang dinner in the bus, and all of our favorites will get our longitude and latitude, and we'll hang out in the wild together and start a commune.
Ooh.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for the really beautiful comments. We've been going for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Hour and 27 minutes and 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. We really, really appreciate everyone jumping on. Does anybody have any last questions before we end it for the night?
Yeah. What do you got? Speaking of coffee beans, did a coffee tour in Costa Rica and was curious if you're planning on heading down to south or north once the bus is built. Gordon.
We also did a coffee tour in Costa Rica in Monteverde.
Monteverde.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Oh my gosh. We had a really beautiful coffee tour. And then after the coffee tour, it started just pouring rain. And we sat and watched this like magnificent rain. And it was so warm and lovely. And just parrots flying everywhere. Oh,
it was beautiful. Where did you go in Costa Rica for your coffee tour? Costa Rica was beautiful, by the way. Holy smokes. That was absolutely wonderful.
We spent a lot of time in Central America and a little bit of South America. We've done almost all the countries in Central America except for, where didn't we go?
We didn't go to El Salvador.
We didn't go to El Salvador, but we went almost everywhere else. No, we did go.
We went to every country.
Every other country in Central America. And we've been to Colombia and Ecuador and the Galapagos, and we did Bonaire.
And then we've
been to 19 countries together since we've been together, and like something like 52 Airbnbs or something. Because as soon as Brian and I met, we were like, I was up in Canada and Brian was in Texas. So we would just meet at Airbnbs, and then we quit our jobs and we just started traveling and got totally hooked, but needed a home, more of a home base. Yeah.
So
what else? Well, there's like a ton of comments coming in. Appreciate you guys. Feel free to run into the wild whenever.
yes. We're actually going to be going into the wild next weekend, a week from tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! We get to go on
to
a fun little
cottage,
area here in Canada. It should be a lot of fun, and we may work that excursion into another video, kind of like we did with the canoeing excursion that we did. I forget what video we did that. We were painting the bus. That's right.
Yeah.
It was the painting the bus series. We had a power outage here because of a tornado that was going by. And so we packed everything and head out, grabbed a canoe, and went into the wild for a few days.
If you guys want to see any of our old travel videos, they're in there. Excuse, them being our first videos.
The editing's not so great. Colombia and Ecuador have great video editing. Galapagos and Bonaire, those are good. But all the other ones, the editing's not good.
Well, we did a lot of this talking head stuff when we first got started, and we were talking about
start somewhere.
Totally different things.
Yeah.
And really, we just want to be ourselves and just do this. So, Monteverde, stayed on a farm. Recently converted into an eco resort called Helicoñas. Truly local. Yes. Oh, the mangoes.
Oh,
yeah. And
so
toucans, the best. The best.
Absolutely.
I'm such a birder. I actually didn't know how much I love the birds up here in Ontario until we came back. And being here the past year, we have seen so many beautiful blue jays and cardinals, and they're not as massive as some of the birds down in South and Central America, but there's some impressive birds up here. And I think that's one thing that travel does for you is like opens your eyes to the beauty of places and your appreciation of places.
Thanks so much, Bethany. We appreciate you watching.
We've
got more to come for sure.
Yes. Okay. I'm losing my voice.
I am too.
You guys are so great. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. And if there's ever any certain type of videos that you like the best, like more how-tos or more travel stuff, like always let us know what you're liking, because that helps us make our videos better.
Yeah.
Like we try to switch it up with different types of genres of music, different types of video styles, where some we talk more while some we're just doing more doing.
Sometimes we don't want to talk.
Sometimes we come out here and I was just like, I don't feel like talking about anything.
Nothing.
And then we just set the camera up to just roll so that we can do like fast motion stuff. And then later we might do some voiceovers.
Some days.
Because sometimes you just feel like just getting in there and just working on stuff and not having to just be like, because like doing cuts and stuff, like there's a lot that goes into the production of these things. They're not scripted at all. They're off the cuff 100% of the time. And each video takes us a couple days to edit. So
sometimes 3.
Yeah.
And sometimes 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
you guys.
But we appreciate every one of you for subscribing to our channel, for following our videos, for coming to hang out with us tonight on this live.
We should have a video
We really
for
appreciate
you
y'all.
in the next few days. And
It'll probably be Saturday because
Yeah.
we're going to probably just get back on the Saturday night premiere schedule. We need to get back on that because it's nice to have a schedule.
yeah, it is. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. Lon talks about life.
Shout out to Our Bus Olive, a new build, Gordon Polson. Nice.
Yeah. Big shout out to everybody who came, all you guys who are taking on the bus project. Big deal. Everybody who wants to do it. Do something for yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks so much, Bethany.
Should we do the live show again?
Do you guys want us to do more live shows?
We could.
What do you let us know if yes. Okay.
Cool.
Yes, also Bethany. Do you guys like would you guys like us to do topics like as we're building, we're talking about a certain topic? Or just kind of open-ended, just see where it kind of takes us sort of thing with Q&As?
Yeah, for sure.
Topics, all right.
Yeah.
We could do topics.
We do topics.
We can do schooly bus topics. We can Skunkworks says sex ed.
I don't know. They should
That's
be.
not really in line with our channel,
Not in
though.
line with our channel.
No, that one, yeah.
I don't
all right.
know. Nice ideas though.
Yes.
We can't
Bethany May says both.
both.
Did I just say that like a
Like a Canadian.
Oh,
I think you
geez.
did that on purpose. He just busts my balls about my
can talk
accent.
for hours about insulation?
Oh, not insulation. Shit's itchy. No, I was kidding.
Well, it depends on what kind.
We'll talk about canning. Watch about what?
Watching
the paint dry.
Paint dry like
Q&A.
oh, look at this paint. Oh, it's still drying. Oh, do we have water boiling somewhere too?
Ooh, maybe I should
darn tootin'.
put my thumbprint on it. Oh, okay. So we'll do more of these.
Okay, we'll start to do
Okay.
more. Maybe we'll figure out a schedule for doing
Yeah.
these. That way it's like the same time every week or every other week or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can commit to every week with doing a live because our schedule is kind of crazy with in between doing the build, producing the videos, editing the videos, and then we also work and stuff like we build websites, we do Google Ads management, social media management, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Gutting a moose.
Oh, we actually just ran across
Yeah.
a channel,
What are
a
they called?
couple, Simply Alaska or
Simply Living Alaska?
Simple Living Alaska or something
Cutest
like
couple, Ariel and
that. Eric.
Eric.
And they we haven't watched the one. They had one on hunting a moose and then another on quartering it and processing it and smoking it and all sorts of stuff. I don't know what they did in it because we
have
haven't
to
watched
watch
it
it.
yet. But they were a pretty cool couple. They're from Oregon and
Yeah.
then moved up to Alaska.
Yeah.
So
We try to only watch the things, and this doesn't always happen, that are like current for us right now. So right now we really need to learn how to do canning. So we have a canning course and we're watching canning courses, but we're taking notes on that. So sometimes when we're watching canning videos on YouTube and we're not taking notes, we're just like indulging in canning videos because we have a ton of tomatoes right now. They're just like
they're ready to go.
explosive.
So we're all like,
Oh,
we
they're
need to
so
do our
good.
canning. So
They're
yeah.
like this big. My little niece calls them pumpkins. So
Yeah, it's
cute.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Cans float, bottles don't, which is true. Wants to know more about propagation of basil. We're actually really good at propagating basil,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. And dill.
And dill also.
Yeah. Just dried some. Got a dehydrator.
We got the
a
seeds
while ago.
also.
Yeah, we got
from
the seeds
from the dill.
Learning seed saving.
We got a whole freaking bottle of basil that we dried out and chopped up and put in the little thing. So that actually, it came out so delicious. Every time we pop it up, it's fresher, more effervescent than any store-bought basil we've ever bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting offered to be taken on a hunting for noobs tour. Works.
Noobs, really?
I'd be the noob, not Brian.
Well, if you want to go on a hunting trip, we could go to Texas and we could go hunt for snipes. If you want to hunt for something.
Was that like heli sniping?
No, that's Heli Hagen.
Heli Hagen. I don't know, guys.
I wouldn't do the Heli Hagen, no. I'd go Hellian.
We want some more biscuit talk. Biscuit. Gotta talk about them biscuits.
I gotta tell you, like, I really want to get better at doing like fastenerless building. So more like using wood to fasten things together instead of like screws and nails and stuff like that. So using the biscuits, doing tonguing like the mortise and tenon with the draw bore and everything. That's super exciting. And then we had the 2 countertop pieces that we were trying to put together. And I was like, oh, we can't mortise and tenon this because we're going to have to cut off too much of the counter. And I was like, let's improvise. Let's create a floating tenon and do the same sort of thing. And it actually worked.
Yeah, that was amazing. Super impressive.
Sorry. And my dad, he was like, we were on a video call with him the other day, and he was like over the top. He's like, dude, I cannot get enough of your woodworking skills. I mean, I learned most of the shit that I do from him. Aww. And then also, YouTube. I learned a ton from YouTube University because there's so many great channels on here that show you how to do really cool shit. I
got like 6 years of shop class under my belt. Yeah. I was the only gal in the class for years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I got. Maybe some art class. Yeah, noodling.
Noodling for catfish. That's an interesting one.
Noob, you gotta clean it. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I would like to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow. We're definitely gonna have axes on board because
we're both good at throwing axes, like going to like the big targets.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably be building some targets to have on the bus and monkey balls. Not sure if you guys have ever played monkey balls, but that's a really fun game. Really fun game. We're going to make a custom monkey balls, and we're going to have that on board.
And if you don't know what it is, you're going to have to stay tuned and see, because we'll probably show you how we put it all together right here on Be Adventure Partners YouTube channel.
Darn tootin'.
So thank you to everyone who has come today to hang out with us. I'm Brian. This is Aaron. We're 2 just normal human beings who love to have fun and love to build shit and have.
Yeah.
I need
a girlfriend for monkey balls. Sure.
Monkey
balls is ladder ball. It's ladder ball. It's just what we call this game up here.
Raymond.
Great info.
Oh, Raymond. Were you the guy who are you the same Raymond who left a message on the blog about the title for San Antonio? Let us know. And we're glad that helped you out.
Yeah.
Did you go to the same
just get a message from Raymond?
Yeah. Did you did you go to the same inspection station that we went to there on Nakoma and I think West Avenue, I think was the cross section maybe?
I don't know.
Night, cans float. It was great to see you, buddy. Yeah. So I don't know if it's you, Cam, typing or Cat, but
I think it's Cam. He said call Cat later.
Okay, we can
Zoom.
Oh, well, I don't know if we're not zooming tonight.
Our voices are done, but soon we'll zoom.
Yeah, it's dying over here.
I'm about to buy a bus the next week or so from Peterborough. Yeah.
Cool.
Any tips for going through the process? Yeah, James Meister. I think that's your name. James Meister 14. Check out our blog, beadventurepartners.com. We've got a bunch of articles on there that we've written specifically about how we got the bus, title of the bus. We are also looking for people who want to tell us their insurance stories. It's so dry and boring. It really is. But we get so many questions about how to get a title, then how'd you get it across the border? And our situation is just so weird and different. So please send us a message or questions on the blog. We will also send you our quick survey. Once you guys get titles and stuff, we would love, oh no.
We might be an error.
We get cut off.
Hit refresh on yours.
Anyways, we have a survey that we're looking to get people to fill out about getting their titles.
Yeah.
Long story short.
All right, we're going to end the stream right here. Thank everyone so much for jumping on. We've been going for an hour and 43 minutes hanging out with everybody. It's been so much fun answering your questions. If you have any more questions, either leave them on any of our videos, even if it's not applicable to the video, or you can go to our website, beadventurepartners.com. We've got a tab at the top that probably says Schoolie or something like that, Schoolie articles. And we've got the comments open on those articles, and we go and read those comments every week or so, and then respond back to everybody.
Yeah.
So let us know any questions that you have, and hopefully we can point you towards the information, or we know someone who has the information that we can point you to, because we want all of this to be accessible to anyone who's wanting to learn and start taking life by the horns and doing it however you want to do it, against the grind of normal everyday life.
Darn tootin'. I mean, if you want a little more in-depth look at all the projects that we do, check out Get Your Schoolie On, because we're dumping all the videos in there. We're getting rid of the fluff and the vlog funny stuff. There'll be some funny stuff.
Oh, there's always going to be funny stuff.
Some silly stuff in Get Your Schoolie On. But if you want more in-depth videos and plans,
more how-to.
Brian wrote an entire guide on how to do the curved skylights.
It's a 47-page full of pictures and tips and screw by screw, how to put those all together. That's all in Get Your Schoolie On. So if you want that, that's available. You could just go to beadventurepartners.com and look at any of the articles on there, and you'll be able to get access to Get Your Schoolie On.
Darn tootin'. Okay, we love you guys. Thank you to everyone who showed up, and have a good night.
Until next time, friends.
Adventure on.
Adventure on. Night,
Bye,
night.
Bye. Love you.
Bye, bye. Bye.
Bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.